We are live. Did he just show up?
Oh, yeah, no, this is gonna be good. So, I guess I should do the intro.
Might as
Welcome
well.
everyone to the Warwolf podcast. I'm Mike. You got Dale, you got Mitch, you got Justin, and you got my girl, Poe, the cute little thing that she is sitting right fucking next to me. Don't tell me to shut up. Fuck you. Anyways, so guys, we are here. We've got three big topics to talk about today. The first topic we're going to be talking about Ross Ulbricht, and the not only him getting his freedom, but the absolute Schadenfreude that has been going on with the whole case, and the little bit of comeuppance that the U.S. government got in regards to some money, a little rainy day fund that Ross most likely had tucked away. So first questions, boys. Are you aware of the rainy day fund that Ross potentially had tucked away?
You mean the $180 million?
You mean the $6,400 or
400
6,400
bitcoins?
Bitcoin
Yes.
stashed away, which is a lot more than $180 million.
It's gone up then?
It's
Even better.
dude, fucking Bitcoin's over 100K right now. What do you mean?
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, no. The U.S. government must be reeing so hard because they seized so much shit from him. Was it 13,000 Bitcoin from him or something like that?
I think so.
So they seized a lot of Bitcoin from him back in the day, and the fact that he had another over 6,000 potentially stashed away, because we don't know for sure who the address actually belongs to.
But
It
didn't
was
it.
just
It got. Like, it saw activity after 13 years for the first time the day that Ross was freed?
yep, yep. The very day that he walks out of jail, that address goes live again.
Yep. After being inactive since the 13 years he's been in jail? Clearly a coincidence.
Yeah, I wonder what that passkey was, because this motherfucker could remember that shit.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so he's definitely got a bit of cash floating around. Silk Road 2.0, anybody?
I wouldn't complain.
So let's talk. Let's kind of just do a brief summation of Ross's story. So Ross Ulbricht is the founder of a website called Silk Road. This website was the first website to facilitate the exchange of Bitcoin for goods and services in the world. Period. In a story. First one to do it, and
Yes.
it was a resounding success.
It was
Uh,
also a darknet marketplace. It wasn't available.
no, it
Yeah,
wasn't.
wasn't
It
it?
wasn't.
It was
It wasn't
Tor.
darknet. It wasn't darknet. Everybody who tries to claim it was darknet is a fucking idiot.
I
It was simply on the Tor protocol.
isn't Tor protocol considered darknet?
Anybody who considers that darknet is fucking retarded.
Well, then what would be darknet?
Darknet is the kind of shit where you literally get invite only. You can I can load up Brave right now. Brave has Tor built in. I can load up Brave, open up a window with the Tor protocol active, and go to any website that utilizes the Tor protocol. Period.
Right.
End of story. But in the case of dark web, dark web is invite only kind of shit where you need to know the people that have the access keys in order to actually be able to get into these places, and even then, good luck finding the people that have the access. The dark web is a couple 100,000 individuals. It's not this, you know, big old scary thing that people are doing all day, every day, yada yada. No, it is a very small minority of people that are actually on the dark web, and most of those people are doing some of the shadiest shit possible, but they're doing it in a way that completely protects them. Because let's face it, and I love the United States, but the United States government I don't have any love for whatsoever, and those motherfuckers are as retarded as they come. Like,
Right.
They think they took one website down, another website pops up and replaces it immediately. So, anyways, running on the Tor protocol. The Tor protocol is just basic encryption. For all intents and purposes, it's basic encryption. You can brute force Tor very easily if you have the resources to do it, and it's the computing power that is required to do it quickly. But the point is that it wasn't dark web. Everybody wants to claim it was dark web. It's not. It was just, hey, we're using a hyperly secure form of transaction, Bitcoin, as the means to transact. Thus, we're going to use a secure setup for doing those transactions, which Tor provides that security. Now, the unfortunate part about Silk Road is that Silk Road was basically Craigslist. Let's face it. Go into what are those? Mitch, I'm gonna ask you. What are those random postings at the end of the newspaper? What are those called again?
Aren't they classified ads? No.
No, classified ads is another thing.
Oh. Letters to the
Mitch.
editor?
No.
No.
Mitch.
Hey, the truth. I can't picture what you're talking about right now.
You know those like people would be like hey.
Oh, like personal ads or something like
Yeah.
that? Or...
Is it classified ads?
I think it's
that what they're
yeah,
called?
it's basically that's considered classified ads.
Yeah.
Yes.
Whatever. Okay, so the point is that imagine, have you ever read the the classified ad style shit on fucking Craigslist?
Yes.
Like the shit is wild. Like I literally went on Craigslist one time with because me and a bunch of friends, we were like fucking around on like Omegle and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
And we went on Craigslist and we were looking at the classifieds there. Yeah, classifieds, that's what they're called. That's 100% it. And we like human companionship ads are fucking hilarious on Craigslist.
Wait, I think those are the personal ads. The classified ads are the people selling things. The personal ads, which Craigslist no longer allows, that's the personal ads.
Okay, whatever. Point is, those things were fucking hilarious, and Craigslist was the fucking wild west of shit.
Yes.
And that's what Silk Road is. It was the Wild West. You could find anything on Silk Road. Period. End of story. And it was amazing because, let's face it, there's a lot of shit that cannot be traded for in the open market 99% of the time. Correct. Because the people who are interested in those things aren't going to see them. So, like, for example, there's a couple of consignment stores here in my area called Franklin's and Abbey Ann's.
Mm-hmm.
And they are furniture and antique consignment stores. And say, for example, there's a particular piece that you find in one of those stores where it's like, oh, this is really nice. But then it turns out like there's a collector out there who, if he knew that this thing existed, he would be like, oh my fucking God, I've been looking for that for fucking 10 years. Mm-hmm. Because it completes a set or something of what I've got or whatever. You know, right. Shit like that. That was what was great about Silk Road, is the fact that it opened up the marketplace and people around the world could fucking buy shit for a currency, Bitcoin, that everybody could trade in. You could buy it with whatever currency you were using in your home country, and you could use it anywhere in the world. Period. End of story. It was full evasion of currency controls, which is exactly why the United States fucking went after Ross Ulbricht like they did.
Yep.
Because they were pissed about him facilitating the runaround of currency controls.
Yes.
Now, of course, then you have the whole, thing with Bitcoin, the Fed back in the day trying to crush Bitcoin, realizing, oh no, the genie's been let out of the bottle, now we have to try to control it. The control failed, and now we come to the modern day where now Trump is talking about creating a Bitcoin reserve because they realize that Bitcoin is here to stay and it's not going anywhere.
Yeah. And for the record, for all these fucking normie cons I see on places like Twitter who are saying like, Ross is a drug. Yeah, exactly. Like, Ross is a drug dealer. No, he's fucking not. That's not why he went to jail. He went to jail for, as you said, for normalizing Bitcoin. Which
Oh yeah, 100%.
And he, let's say he was a drug dealer, hypothetically. Drug dealers don't generally get 2 life sentences plus 40 years. Right?
No, not at all.
This was
Not at
clearly
all.
them trying to make an example out of someone for creating a marketplace that uses Bitcoin.
Well, and not even just that either. It was the fact that you can circumvent tax law completely
Yes.
and utterly with Bitcoin. A lot of people don't realize this. Bitcoin is your way of circumventing tax law. You can't circumvent with gold. You can't circumvent with fucking commodities, but you can circumvent with Bitcoin very fucking easily.
Yes.
And the governments fucking hate that, but now they have to lean into it because they realize there's no way for us to collect on these taxes. Because here's the thing, what happens if I take my Bitcoin, I go to an individual who I know has the money, and I say, hey, I will give you my Bitcoin for your cash.
Yes.
All of a sudden you're made liquid, and the government has no fucking clue.
Yep.
And that kind of transaction happens a lot more than people want to acknowledge, because the same transaction's been happening with the gold market for fucking decades.
Yep.
Hey, Hunter. Sir, I just want to inform you that you are currently in the middle of the Warwolf podcast. Welcome,
Correct.
Oh shit.
sir. We're currently talking about Ross Ulbrich and how he is a fucking G.
Silk Road, right? Like
Yeah.
Silk Road,
Yes.
and that they one of the worst things he did. Like, from what I remember, it was something about the government trying to entrap him into sending a hitman.
Yeah. They never had. If they could have proven it, they would have. But it was basically a thing they made up to smear him in the media so that no one would then try to defend him. Right?
Oh, yeah,
It was
100%.
basically a media op to snare the Michael Knowleses of the world. And the other
It
retarded
wasn't
normie
media.
crowd.
It wasn't even media. This was the Treasury and the IRS. Because remember, what was going on during this time period when Ross Ulbricht went to jail and was convicted? The IRS was targeting anybody that Obama didn't like.
Correct.
Sorry, I don't care who you are. 2 + 2 is 4, and I can fucking see the fucking forest for the trees. So, but what you end up having is that, Ross, he builds out Silk Road, the government ends up coming down hard on him, and they decide, no, fuck you, we don't want you to exist. So we're going to give you 2 life sentences plus 40 years. Now, his case, a lot of people, as Dale has pointed out, a lot of the idiots out there who will be like, oh, he was a drug dealer, oh, he contracted an assassin, yada, yada, yada. Okay, anyways, even if the actual hit happened, first off, it wasn't he who made the contract. It was some chick who was trying to do a hit on her wife, I should say. Or her husband. Wow. Wife trying to whack husband. There. I can fucking speak, I swear. But it turns out that the possibility of that actually have happened, or have had happening, is actually relatively fucking low, because there's no actual evidence that it even did occur.
Alright.
So it's like, come the fuck on, you fucking lemmings. And of course, again, you got people like Michael Knowles. He's a drug dealer. Shut the fuck up. I've been calling him a fucking faggot on Twitter for fucking ever since Ross got out. Like, every time I scroll by and I see somebody talking shit about Ross, I will literally just be like, faggot.
It's probably the correct thing to do, honestly.
Oh,
I mean-
no, name them and shame them. Fuck these guys.
Agreed.
Like, no, I have better things to fucking do than fucking entertain their bullshit at this point in time. Because I'm sorry, like, I want to get rid of fucking income tax and fucking get rid of capital gains tax so we can all fucking actually get rich like we're supposed to, rather than fucking living in this New Deal bullshit where we all get taxed to death. Fuck
Yes.
you. Anyways, so again, we got the Schadenfreude with, the fact that Ross had money squirreled away. We have him getting his freedom. But then we also had the potential that, remember, Silk Road never actually went away. Silk Road has still existed throughout all this.
Yeah.
So what are the chances that he takes what is currently there? Because the people who are currently running Silk Road are allies of Ross. What are the chances that Ross steps back into the fold?
I wouldn't say right away.
Oh no, it won't be right away. But it will be once he's in a country where he can avoid all this bullshit, and then he can just be like, heh, get fucked, bitches, and just unleashes fucking hell on the planet. Because, let's face it, what happens if, you and me as normal people can start buying shit that we normally can't get a hold of? I like the idea of being able to buy gold from some dude for Bitcoin and be able to fucking squirrel away gold and not have to fucking report it and all that bullshit. I love that idea.
Yep. The less the U.S. government knows, or any government knows, the better.
Absolutely.
I don't disagree, because anytime they know something, they get really stupid.
Yes.
Well, look at it this way. Your income, the money that you put into your pocket, is taxed 7 times before it goes into your pocket.
Yes.
And then it's taxed 2 further times past that.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you do anything with that money, you have to pay sales tax or you have to pay capital gains tax.
Yep. And then it's taxed 1 further time in some states if you die, or when you die. They fucking tax it again.
Yep. Okay, so you can add a third there. There you go.
Yeah.
But, you have so many orders of effect when it comes to taxes. It's unfucking real. And people don't understand that this is what's killing people. This is what's bringing the crunch to people so fucking hard. It's what's making... it's one of the reasons why oil is so uninvestable. It's the reason why people are not able to fucking sustain themselves off of the Social Security system. They've created the conditions where we are reliant on them, and it's like, no, go fuck yourselves.
Correct.
Now, to further this conversation, let's go over to Trump's executive orders. Because I think this ties...
you mean like the fact that instead of, unlike most presidents, going, maybe I'll make 1 or 2... 3 days in, all right, I'm going to do like 100 of them real quick.
Yes.
He's just absolutely sick of the
no,
government.
if I remember correctly, he signed like 150 his first day. He signed another like 100 the second day, and the third day he signed like another 100.
Yes.
Like, the dude is just like, nah, fuck you.
See, some people have theorized it's because his first term, he still kind of believed the system kind of works. And in this term, he's like, nah, the system's whack. Fuck that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, and here's the other thing. And a lot of people might not understand this. Executive orders don't have to be evil. And this is a lesson that I had to learn when I was younger, because again, we all fall into, especially if you avoid the communist route like most of us have, you end up falling more into that libertarian space when you're younger. But as you get older, you start to realize, as you experience the politics and you understand the geopolitics and the financial system and all these moving pieces that make up the world, you start to realize, like, actually, this doesn't have to be evil. It can be used for good. It's the same thing with the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve right now, if the libertarians were to get their way today and the Federal Reserve just went bye-bye, it would kill this country. It would literally destroy this country overnight. Because we would not be a country anymore, we would be a colony. And you don't want to know who the colony or who the colonial overlord would be. I know Dale and Keck want to say something specific. I want to remind you that, that little airstrip in the middle of the Middle East is owned by another country as well.
Yes. A country that very much likes tea. And I don't mean India.
You said, I thought, wait, what do you mean India? Don't you mean not pulling in the loop?
Dun 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 dun.
Unfortunately.
I mean, you mean
Yes.
what's left of Britain. Anyways.
Yeah, no, as Stoner just said in side chat, fucking limeys. And
Yeah.
no, and it's absolutely, and here's the fun part. Here's the fun part about that. Me and Halsey, we were actually talking this morning. Halsey, dude, I love Halsey to death. Like, this guy is, like, he has shared with me so much fucking information, it's unfucking real, and I'm just like, holy shit, you and Tom are fucking great. I love you both. If I could give you a kiss on the fucking cheek, I would.
Yay.
Full homosexual. Full.
Okay, I mean, I ain't joking. Hey,
All
You
aboard the
right.
homo train. Anyways.
I didn't know I was going in that direction. What the hell is he setting me up for?
Choo choo. Anyways, but no, one of the things that, you know, Halsey pointed out to me, he's like, what sucks with Tom is that the more that he fucking tries to red pill people on England, the more people are going to push back because they're like, but wait, aren't they supposed to be our cousins? Aren't they supposed to be our allies, etc., etc.? It's like, no, they're our greatest fucking enemy ever, and you got fucking psyoped into thinking that they were friends. You literally got bullied into believing that they were your best friends. And, oh wait, they're the reason why the Great Depression started. But, so yeah, so we have a slew of executive orders that come out. One of the amazing things was the pardoning of the J6ers.
Yes. Was that his, like...
Now,
it was-
for me, on a particular level, the reason why that was an important thing to me was because of around 500 of them. And I don't remember the exact number. I'd have to go back and fucking find it. But it was around 500, I know that. Around 500 of them have been held in some form of confinement without trial.
Yes.
It's been 4 fucking years since the events of January 6th. And 4 fucking years of confinement without trial. That is a constitutional fucking black eye that the government will never be able to escape from.
Yes.
The lawsuits that are going to follow over the next decade are going to be fucking delicious. Because these people will never be able to escape it. There will be congressmen and congresswomen that will resign in disgrace simply because they will not be able to escape the fucking political blowback that this will bring.
Hey, Warhound, speaking of those people, I can't really confirm it, but I did see some tweets today that's saying that some of these people who got pardoned are being rearrested by their state governments.
Well, and that's the thing. That's the thing is, honestly speaking, I saw that coming. I really did, because let's face it, some of these people are from these hyper political states like New York, California, Rhode Island, Connecticut, etc., etc. Let's face it, Connecticut is you could not pay me to go into the borders of Connecticut. You cannot pay me to go into the borders of Rhode Island.
Isn't Connecticut that state that basically voided Elon Musk's it voided the contract he made with his shareholders for payment for Tesla or something like that? And they were just like,
it was either Connecticut or Delaware, but yes, one of the two. And Delaware's just as bad, just not as bad, but almost just as bad.
Yeah.
And it's sad to say, I wouldn't be surprised if North Carolina was on that list now as well.
Oh, not at all.
Because after this past election, our new Democratic governor was our last Democratic governor's attorney general, and we also now have a Democratic lieutenant governor, Democratic attorney general, and Democratic secretary of state. And guess which is one of the 22 states that filed suit out in Seattle to challenge the birthright citizenship executive order?
North
well,
Carolina.
Yes, the North Carolina, our new Democratic Attorney General.
That's unfortunate.
Well, and honestly speaking, it's not fucking surprising. It's not surprising at all. But the point is that, you know, there are going to be some pains, 100%. But the people that were held without trial, I don't care what they did. It does not fucking matter. You violated their constitutional rights to the point where now they get to sue you and they will win. And it's just there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Period. End of fucking story. These people don't realize how royally fucked they are. And it's actually really funny. You know, I brought up that TV show, the Lioness, earlier. In that TV show, you know, there's I believe he's the chief of staff to the president in the show. He's played by Morgan Freeman. And the chief of staff goes like, oh, you know, how can we reunite the country, blah blah blah, so on and so forth, like what would it take, yada yada yada. And it's like, well, if that was real life right then and there, it's like, well, fucking 500 people having their constitutional rights violated so hard that they will sue the government and win. That's not going to unite people whatsoever fucking ever. So good on Trump pardoning these people, because again, these people, they again, they're going to sue, they're going to win, they're going to get a shit ton of money.
So, one thing I do have to wonder, though, because if they're suing for the stuff that happened in D.C., what's the jury pool like in D.C.? Right? The jury pool in D.C. is all the...
This is civil. There's no jury. There's no jury on civil.
Aren't civil trials also done by juries? Like...
It can be done by jury, but it's not commonly done by jury. It's
they might try.
So so you're thinking it's going to be a bench trial, which is the one where a judge.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. They're going to push for bench trials for these, because these are such cut and dry cases. It's unfucking real.
But aren't the DC bench like, if it's a DC bench trial, then don't you have to deal with the same scumbag judges who are doing all the heinous things to them in the first place?
Well, these same judges are also looking at potentially getting fucking removed from the bench anyways. Yeah, well, dude, let's face it. Like, the judges can be appointed and they can be fired.
True. Well,
and a lot of people don't fucking realize that.
Can they be fired, or do they have to specifically be impeached and removed?
Oh, well, they will be they can be removed for dereliction of duty.
Oh.
There are some distinct executive powers that can remove them.
That's
they don't have to go through the Congress.
Also,
And
they
then,
probably have to be looking at the inconvenience of, now that we probably have an actual honest-to-God Attorney General, being probably investigated by the Department of Justice.
Not like investigated, quote unquote. We said we investigated ourselves.
Yes, not one of those, thankfully.
Well, look at the situation that we're currently looking at. You know, Kash Patel. Like, how many FBI agents have fled the country?
Probably quite a few.
It's over 100 per what I've seen so far.
Interesting.
And most of them are mid-level management.
Those are the worst of them, so I'm glad they're gone.
Well, and that's the point, is that many of these guys have fled the country because they're like, no, I'm good. Fucking Millie has basically been stripped of everything, and he might end up seeing some fucking time in front of a military tribunal.
Can you court-martial someone who's been pardoned by the federal government? Is that a different thing?
Oh, yes, you can, dear.
Pardons do not apply to the UCMJ.
Good.
It is basically, that is the one legal case to where you can be subject to double jeopardy. To where if you do something, being in the military, that after the civilian judicial system gets done with you, then you got to face whatever punishment the military justice system wants to dish out. to you
Good,
as
because
well.
his
And
fat
mind you,
ass
the
needs to
military-
be in jail.
The military justice system is very much more severe.
Good.
Very much
yes.
more severe.
Yeah, we could, the term Leavenworth could be in Millie's future if they
Oh,
take
yeah.
it far enough.
Is
Oh, yeah.
that like their prison?
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
But here's the question though: are there going to be any officers that would be willing to
Officers.
court-martial Millie?
So that is the great part is that Trump is currently as part of the cleanup that Trump is going to be engaging in, he's gutting the upper officer corps.
Yes. Also,
Well,
keep
speaking
in
of
mind.
that,
And so we're like right now we have around 30, I think it's 33 or 34 four-star generals.
Yeah.
The plan is to cut it down to 11.
Hmm.
In the
here's the
case
thing.
of, go ahead.
Speaking of that, I just saw a tweet today where Minot Air Force Base, where we keep some of our ICBMs, they're still doing DEI training.
For now.
Well, it's because they're trying to change names right now,
Yes.
and
Oh yeah, they're trying
Exactly.
to shift the bridge as fast as they can.
Yes. Which is good because
So,
there'll
like-
be more of a record then for their prompt terminations.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Exactly. And right now, me being retired military from back in the times when we still had something resembling a decent military from the 80s and 90s, only thing I have to say with Trump going on warpath with this is out of the old Bugs Bunny cartoon, Hassan Chop.
Well, and even further down that road of discussion, we're looking at the potential, the massive potential that this could actually revamp the entire fucking system.
Yeah.
We could be looking at the potential that we have an executive, a true actual executive, not this middling bullshit that we've had, for years and years and years now, where, like, oh, hey, Obama, like, let's face it, Obama was ineffectual all 8 years he was in office.
Yeah.
There wasn't, like, Obamacare is his shining fucking thing, and Obamacare, we look at the numbers now and we're like, oh, hey, yeah, Obamacare actually fucking prevented people from getting treatment.
Yes.
That
And
and drone strikes.
And even just calling it like Obamacare, it's big. Call it what it is, Romney care, because it wasn't even his. Romney did this thing when he was the governor of Mass.
Well, no. So here's the thing. Here's the thing with Obamacare, and this is the true thing to understand, is Obamacare was an attempt to basically Obamacare was the second attempt to force European governance onto the United States.
Yes.
The first attempt, which was successful, was 1913 with the Federal Reserve.
Yes.
Where they forced a European-style central bank onto the United States. Because before then, we didn't have a central bank. Oh,
Correct.
woe is me, the country that is growing the fastest and becoming the predominant power doesn't have a central bank.
Yes. They
But-
tried to force one in the early 1800s, but thankfully Andrew Jackson killed it.
Well, yes, but here's the thing, and this is the thing to realize about, the Federal Reserve, for example, in context. How many major bankers were on the Titanic when it set sail?
I don't know. Were there a lot?
Yeah. JP Morgan was the only one not on that boat.
Interesting.
I wonder why.
How many of them survived?
None. I wonder why JP Morgan didn't go to attend that meeting in London that all those guys were going to. Huh, weird.
Interesting.
He was the iceberg the whole time.
Hey, I'm just gonna say it. When you look into the design of the Titanic, you realize several critical flaws. A lot, many critical structural flaws with the ship that if honestly speaking, rough enough seas would have caused the Titanic to split.
Huh.
That's how structurally compromised the Titanic actually was.
I wish
So
I had
in-
more spots.
In reality, there is a very high likelihood that yeah, things just would not have gone the way that people thought. Let's just say that. Anyways, so getting back to our point, you know, Obamacare was the second attempt to force European governance onto the United States. The Paris Climate Accords, the third attempt. Both attempts failed.
Yeah.
The Paris Climate Accords, again, another executive order. Trump has pulled us from it. Trump has pulled us from the WHO. Which, holy shit! So, little thing about the WHO. I don't know if you guys know about this in regards to COVID. COVID's very interesting. 6 months before COVID hit, the WHO is going around to counties in the United States, basically telling counties either you take the money or you don't get any funding whatsoever, and basically forced counties at the muzzle of a gun to accept their governance when it came to disease control and whatnot. And then, suspiciously, 6 months after this all started, COVID hits. It's really fucking weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
And don't forget the little war game that Bill Gates and some of his cronies, their little war gaming what a quote-unquote potential pandemic would do to the world in the United States and how they would go about handling it, like in October.
Yep.
You know what's funny? I actually always was a little suspicious of the World Health Organization for the stupidest reason. I remember one time, I think it was like a video that was like, so gaming addiction is now a mental disease, but I forgot it was something to do with transgenderism, but that's not a mental disorder, but gaming is. It's like, what the hell? What is your thought here, buddy? What are you doing?
Yeah, basically, there's one other good reason to be highly suspicious of the World Health Organization.
Bill Gates?
Guess who has been giving them the majority of their funding and essentially pretty much picking who's running the World Health Organization?
Bill Gates?
The Chinese.
Oh, Chinese.
Yep. Well, and here's the whole point is that, pulling us from the Paris Climate Accords, we're no longer subject to European bullshittery. The WHO, we're no longer subject to Chinese bullshittery. On and on and on and on. Now, also, this starts to deregulate the economy. Now, what I'm waiting for, and this is something that Trump desperately needs to do, is he needs to get rid of the REN system. And I hope he does it. Because if you tally everything up, the overall effect that the REN system is going to have on the price of gasoline in this country, if we are pumping actual, honest-to-goodness fucking gasoline into our cars, rather than this fucking 90-10 bullshit that or what is it called? E10 is the actual name of it.
Ethanol blend, yes.
Yeah, we're not blending this fucking bullshit into our gasoline. The overall savings on your price per gallon is about 70 cents. Now, only about 26 cents of that, 26 to 30 cents, is going to actually affect the price of gasoline. The rest of that cost is the overall wear and tear on your vehicle.
So the ethanol does a lot of damage to the vehicle.
Oh yeah. Fucking terrible for it. Me personally, I didn't understand the kind of damage that we were talking about until Tom started talking about it, and I started looking into it, and I forgot that Tom worked at a company that specialized in metal coatings. Wear-resistant coatings for metal and shit.
Yeah.
And when I started looking into it, I'm like, oh my god, ethanol in our gasoline is literally what is causing people's cars to die at 200,000 miles. Because the motors just can't fucking purge the shit out of their system. And so then it starts grinding metal on metal and shit like that, and it becomes a fucking nightmare.
Yeah, basically, remember the operated method that ethanol really damages, like older vehicles that aren't specifically set up to handle ethanol, is that ethanol attracts water, and you get a layer of water down in the fuel tank.
Yep.
And there's a certain type of bacteria that loves to live at that little intersection between the gasoline and the water. And one of the byproducts of that bacteria being in there is formic acid. And that acid ends up attacking metal parts in your fuel system and in the engine if the fuel system and the vehicle hasn't been specifically designed with some type of coating or formulation or such to protect against that.
Yep. That's why, for example, BP and Shell advertise the additives in their gasoline. And by the way, Shell, if you're gonna use gasoline and you have a Shell gas station near your house, use their gasoline because it is the best and it is the cleanest burning gasoline on the market. Yes, it's higher priced, but your motor will last longer. Period. End of story.
Good to know.
But the RIN system specifically is the EPA's way of basically gutting the gasoline market and the energy market in general. And if it is gotten rid of, it's going to kickstart the economy in a way that people don't fucking understand. They just don't. And until they do, unfortunately, it's going to be kind of a problem. But I hope eventually we will get there. Now, another critical thing is actually getting rid of the restrictions on building refineries and building pipelines. Because, oh, by the way, it's cleaner and healthier for the country and the environment to have pipeline gas and oil rather than doing tankers. Oh,
Correct.
wait. Trump signed that executive order already.
Yeah, maybe they'll finally restart the Keystone pipeline.
Oh,
Maybe.
Keystone's happening. Keystone is happening so hard.
Finally. With Trudeau on his way out and also Trump in, we might actually get
To
it.
comment on that real quick, I think Trump offered him a fucking deal. I think Trump offered Trudeau a fucking deal. Because I didn't know about this until after Tom had said something about it and I went looking. Chrystia Freeland was gunning for Trudeau.
Yeah.
And I think Trump is currently working his magic to keep Chrystia Freeland from becoming Prime Minister of Canada.
Yeah. Well, that would... Even if she did, she'd be out within the year. Because elections are 2025 and Liberals aren't winning. Fun fact. In the latest poll that came out, not only do they not drop to third place, they dropped to fourth. And the NDP, which is like the third biggest party, and the Socialist Party drops to third. And you will never guess who comes in second place after Conservatives. The Bloc Québécois, which is the regional separatism party that only exists in Quebec. Yes, the Bloc comes in second.
The fucking Quebecans.
Yeah, the party
second?
that only exists in Quebec comes in second in the national race.
Holy shit!
That's how
hilarious.
That is how bad the NDP and the Liberals are eating shit right now.
Holy fuck,
Yes.
bro! Bring back car bombings.
Yeah.
Bleep that out, Varg.
Fair enough.
Make car bombings great again.
You mean there's actually a chance that Trump was trying to make a deal with Trudeau to make Canada the 51st state and make it gay?
As I've been fucking trolling the Canadians with, the 14th colony was offered. It's not an offer anymore, boys.
Yes.
There's like the Babylon B mentioned it, said we can rename it Gay North Dakota.
Gay North Dakota.
It's pretty great.
You know, coming from someone who is a lot more of a video gamer rather than the guy who knows a lot about politics, honestly, I'm a little out of my depth on this one. There's a special place in my heart that if he actually goes through and kicks out a lot of the bridge initiatives, that we can maybe finally get some good video games again. Here's hoping.
Well, so here's the thing, Hunter, and this is the hilarious part about the whole, like, you guys have heard the term or the phrase, get woke, go broke,
Of
right?
course. Dragon Age Veilguard, ladies and
That
gentlemen.
phrase is completely incorrect.
I know what you're talking about. It's go broke,
Get woke.
broke.
Yeah.
There we go. We got ourselves another Razor fan up in the house, boys and girls. But yes, that is the phrase you should be using. It's get broke, go woke, inevitably croak. And the whole point is that these companies are going woke not because they want to. It's because they need to. Because they have such shitty production, it's unfucking real. So
yeah, the fact that video
now,
games cost an arm and a leg is also not helping.
Well,
Yes.
that's a well. Do you want me to get into the economics so you can understand why video games cost an arm and leg?
Well, I know a couple of reasons, mainly because a lot of it has to do with advertising in particular.
Nope.
But
Nope.
Is it worse than that?
Marketing is fucking easy as shit. Put your game on Steam.
Yeah.
Put your game on Steam. Boom. There's your marketing. You don't have to market anything if it's on Steam.
True.
The problem with video game development is the fact that the developers themselves do not want to make games quickly.
Correct.
If they make games quickly, they log less hours on the clock.
Correct.
And thus, they want to slow the process down. There's a reason why some of these games that, honestly speaking, could be developed in a year easily are taking 3, 4, 5 years to develop because the developers themselves are dragging their heels on purpose to try to slow the roll so they can make more money. And that's why these games cost an arm and a fucking leg, is because the developers are dragging their heels like they are.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Now you've got EA coming out and saying they would like to see the new norm for prices for a AAA game be in the region of $80 to $100
Yeah.
each.
I will never buy a AAA game ever again. I
Me
don't
neither.
care at this point.
Yeah.
And
Like, I'm sorry.
Like, and for those people who may be like feel sad or lament these studios closing or failing, let me just, as someone in that industry, it is full of the worst people. Like, the people who do the most of the stuff in these industries, they're all fucking woke trannies, gays, and all that bullshit, and they all hate you.
So
and fuck them, let them die.
And
Okay,
also
so
they
I'm
work
going-
programming sucks.
I'm going to
Yes.
I'm going to point this out real quick. So I needed to go find it real quick. There's a game called Infinity Battlescape. Now, I don't personally own it yet because I haven't just taken the time to buy it and go ahead and play it. Because I'm concerned that if I start playing this game, I'm never playing anything else. And frankly speaking, I probably just need to fucking take the dive. But the thing with Infinity Battlescape, the game has been $35 fucking dollars since it released into quote unquote early access back in 2019. But here's the thing about Infinity Battlescape. Do you know what Infinity Battlescape is?
No.
It is a flight sim space game that players deploy from planet to planet, engaging one another in real-time fighter-to-fighter combat or ship-to-ship combat. Let's use the term ship-to-ship because you can get like destroyers and frigates and battle cruisers and stuff like that. So you can get bigger stuff other than fighters. But the point is that there is a full-blown AI suite where the AI will bring battle groups in and they will start assaulting points, and then the players can jump in and start assisting the AI and so on and so forth. But the whole thing is that this game is fucking massive. Oh, by the way, you don't just fight in space. You drop into Atmo and start engaging ground installations as well.
I was about to say, this is starting to sound a lot like Star Sector. See where you're getting at.
Well, yes, Star Sector. Shit. Star Sector's a great example of a game. $20 fucking dollars
And you can
for a
get,
game. For a game that, honestly speaking, you will have 100 or 200 hours of playtime, and then you'll install the next mod, Nextrillium. Is that how you say it?
yeah.
You'll install Nextrillium, and then have another 400 or 500 hours of fucking gameplay. There are so many good games out there. It's baffling.
Honestly, you don't even have to go for modern examples. If you're willing to, sail the seven seas, there's a lot of great games that you wouldn't have looked at the first look, depending on what genre you're even going for. You have enough games. I don't really buy too many new AAA games unless they're of the JRPG market, because I have my biases. Yes. My point is that you have a lot of games you can play. If you go diving, oh boy. That's
well, and here's another aspect about, and I love how we got it. Hunter, I fucking hate you because this is completely off fucking script.
That is so.
But then we look at stuff. We look at companies like Hooded Horse. They're a publisher. They are the quote unquote evil in the gaming industry, and yet Hooded Horse, they've had nothing but bangers. Nothing but fucking bangers, and. Look at Soviet Republic. Soviet Republic is fucking... It is one of the quirkiest fucking games ever, and it is just fun. It's just fucking enjoyable.
What sort of game is that?
Look at Manor Lords. It's a Soviet Union themed city builder.
Huh.
It's fucking... And it's a great game. It's a fantastic game. I have watched so many videos of it, and I'm just like, oh my god. The only reason why I haven't bought it yet is... Well, I'm just not into city builders like that. That's just my personal thing.
I might have to get it then, because I love city builders.
It's a great game. Everything I've seen so far, I'm like, oh my god, this is fantastic. I love just watching this.
Interesting.
Then look at other games that they have. Manor Lords, fucking Falling Frontier. Falling Frontier. I don't know if you guys have looked at Falling Frontier at all. Well, Falling Frontier looks like it's going to absolutely take the fucking 4X genre by storm. It is going to absolutely gut the market for sci-fi fucking naval games. It's unfucking real. And I don't think any of these companies that are in this sphere right now, look at what fucking Nordic did with fucking Homeworld 3. Look at what they fucking did with that. Homeworld 3 is a fucking piece of hot garbage, and they've already canceled the fucking further seasons of it.
Good.
Steam literally changed their fucking season pass rules for developers because of Homeworld 3. That's how fucking hot garbage the game is. And they have no shot when Falling Frontier finally drops, which, by the way, I've heard rumblings that it's supposed to drop this year. When it drops, it's going to disrupt the market. Just like how Manor Lords disrupted the fucking market. Because people realize, like, there's a bunch of people bitching and whining about Manor Lords, like, oh, it's not fleshed out enough. You knew that when you fucking bought it, dumbass. The dude straight up said, this is an alpha build that we didn't want to ship, but you guys have been crying so much for it. We're just gonna give it to you. Manor Lords in its current form is fucking phenomenal. And it's taking the medieval city builder genre by storm. If Slavic Magic was smart, in my opinion, if he was smart, he would take Manor Lords after he's done with it. He would apply the same formula to a new fuck, what's the name of that game? Fuck. Fucking, hold on. Fuck, what's the name of the, not that. Grand Ages of Rome. Grand Ages of Rome. Great fucking game. Phenomenal fucking game. It's an older game, and I think it released back in, like, what, fucking 2009? Yeah, 2009. Great fucking game, though. Fantastic game. If he were to take Manor Lords and apply it to Grand Ages of Rome style of game, oh my fucking god, it would be fucking mint. All of a sudden, all the boys are obsessed with Rome again. Just saying. Anyways, let's get back on track. So, you know, you've got Trump's executive orders. Everything's been fucking phenomenal. Everything's been fucking great. Again, we're seeing deregulation. We're seeing great pardons. We're seeing fucking moves being made to just stymie the shit out of the current bad batch of fucking goddamn bureaucrats. Like forcing these fucking bureaucratic assholes back to their fucking jobs. Like, let's face it. Hey, Hunter, mute your mic. You got people talking over the back.
Right, my bad.
All good. But you've got all these bureaucratic assholes being told to go back to work, and they're fucking losing their shit. And it's like, okay, fine. Here's 2 years severance. Go the fuck away. Oh, and by the way, those who don't take the 2-year severance, we're gonna work on finding a way to fucking fire your ass. You better take it.
Are they?
Sorry,
go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh, okay. So I'm not gonna lie to you. I was actually kind of mixed on. Like, I figured Trump was gonna do pretty good. I didn't know he was gonna go this hard. My man won me over. I was always kind of mixed on Trump, but right now he's won me over, straight up.
Well, look at it this way. There are so many motherfuckers on Twitter right now that are fucking raging. And Stoner brought it up, the deportation orders. There are fucking libertarians across the fucking board losing their fucking minds right now because of the deportation orders. And it's like, hey, dumb fucks. We get rid of these people, we are going to see a exponential drop in crime across the entire country. San Antonio isn't a safe city right now because of this shit. Fucking go on over to El Paso. It's a fucking war zone.
Yeah.
Go on down to fucking Columbus. You start getting rid of these motherfuckers, all of a sudden you're going to see a huge drop in the number of the fucking kidnappings that are happening at Polaris Mall.
There are kidnappings happening now?
Oh, dude. I wish Gavin was here because he could talk on it even more. So, Polaris Mall is the scene of hundreds of kidnappings, and they mostly target pregnant women. Because they get a 2-for-1 deal.
Are they kidnappings for ransom, or are they just like kidnappings and you not curious?
Oh, human trafficking. Oh. Human trafficking. It's full-blown human trafficking. Oh, yeah. Which, hey, credit to Lioness as a show. One of the episodes in the second season, it's covering the southern border, and the sorry. And in the episode, they're like doing a raid on a supposed drug warehouse. They raid the warehouse, and it turns out that it's a fucking human trafficking hub. And there's just fucking droves of fucking kids and everything. The entire reaction from the team was on the line of, why the fuck did we leave them there? Like, the entire team has the mindset of, what the fuck? And it like, there's a guttural reaction that you will feel watching the episode. It's fucking... Whoever this Taylor Sheridan dude is, has it going when it comes to his writing, because at least his writing's half fucking decent. I will say that.
Is this a newer show, or is this like it's been a few...
It's relatively new. It's not like new, but it's relatively new. It's kind of like Landman. Landman's relatively new, but the first season just ended. Which, Landman, also really good show. Like, frankly speaking, I love the guy who plays Tommy Norris, because I just think he's a good actor. But Tommy Norris as a character is fucking phenomenal. Like, just as a character, fucking great. It's on Paramount Plus, by the way, if you guys are interested in these shows.
All right.
And no, we're not sponsored by Paramount. Fuck Paramount.
Yeah, fuck Paramount. It. Go to thepiratebay.com and search up Lioness. It.
I would bleep that out. Bleep that out.
Fair enough.
anyways, point is when you've got these great pieces of media that show this shit off, that show this dirty fucking reality, because this shit is happening in reality. Like, it is. Like, any of these little communist bastards, which I guess we'll get into that fucking subject. Any of these little commie bastards who want to play this, oh, it's not happening, or, oh, it's not as bad as you think it is. It's like, no, it is as bad as we think it is. It is as bad as it's being portrayed in movies and shit.
No, it's worse.
Sicario was a documentary. I will stand by that. Sicario was a fucking documentary. But the fact of the matter is that, this dirty ass shit is fucking happening. And, it's just a case of we truly need to understand, like, we need to take action against these motherfuckers, and the deportation orders are one of the first steps we have to take.
Oh, yeah, and the fact that the cartels are being known as terrorists now, which that's something.
I do agree, Stoner. I do agree.
Yeah.
That's not Stoner. What?
Oh, he's typing in the side chat right now.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I was about to say, it's like, damn. That's pretty great.
But, so, speaking of commies, guys, communists on Twitter are fucking hilarious. And obsessive. And obsessive.
Yes.
So, for the audience, so this past week, I was on Twitter trolling commies, as I normally do.
It is a fun pastime.
It is a fun pastime. And so I make some statements, and then all of a sudden, they start coming at me, blah, 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 and I'm like, and mind you, it was the generic shit, and I'm like, okay, you guys are boring, fuck off, go away. Like, you're just boring. And then Miss Keck here goes ahead and says some things, and they jump on her shit as hard as they can. They really do hate women.
Yes.
You know what they say, male feminists and communists, they hate women more than anybody else. Oh, yeah. I know you're talking about this, but there's also something really funny. I remember when I was also shit posting on Twitter, and one of the guys said, yeah, by the way, I don't you mess with the cartels because you're going to kick shit. It's like, are you thinking the cartels are going to be violent if we go after them? Stop giving us an excuse, mate. This is someone actually defending cartels.
Yeah. People will defend the most absurd things if it means owning Trump.
Yeah, that's what happens when you tie your identity to hating one man.
Yeah, like, do you remember back in his first term when he killed the leader of ISIS? And then suddenly in, like, the New York Times, they're calling this guy an austere religious scholar?
Oh, yeah, or, like, when he denuclearized North Korea, and he's like, nah, I should have kept the nukes or something like that. It was something really stupid.
Yeah. But yes, don't tie your entire identity into hating one orange man. It's not going to work out for you, and it's not healthy.
Well, actually, it is funny as Poe just said. Like they went to the point of threatening us, and I'm just sitting there and I'm laughing. I'm like, brother, like, first off, you're not gonna see me. Like, why would I, like, I'm just gonna say it. Why would I walk up on you on the street? I'm going to be 300 to 400 meters away. Like, what are you saying, bud? Like, I don't care what kind of fucking like, oh, I stay strapped. I'm like, yeah, so? Your bedroom window's pretty fucking nice, bud. like, I think differently than you, apparently. And yes. I'm a lot better at this.
As the old saying goes, if it's a fair fight, you did something wrong.
Correct.
Exactly. When in doubt, when hunting subs, bring three destroyers. 3-1. That's an even fight to me.
Yeah.
This ain't the colonial times.
Hey, are you guys hearing Poe? I have her muted on my end.
I'm not hearing her, no.
Nope.
Well, hold on, let her check her.
What she's saying.
Yeah, let her check her voice settings real quick because she's. I might have to toss her my headset so she can actually.
She's
speak.
currently muted on
I
the
got
chat.
something. I got something I want to add to what we were just talking about.
Rejoin
Not
the
only
channel.
would it be 3 destroyers, it would also be about 3 to 6 anti-submarine warfare helicopters.
There you are.
I had myself muted because I didn't want my voice to echo, but wow, I lost my train of thought.
And I just mute you.
I hate this fucking app. I hate it.
No, you had yourself muted.
No, it's just that sometimes Discord will act really stupid and like randomly kick me out or mute me or whatever. But yeah, the full body picture that I shared of myself where I have the cane and everything, just go in chat and you'll see. It currently sits at 9,206 views, 28 quotes, 25 likes, and 4 bookmarks. They love these love me. Let me read you some of the quote tweets that I have. Let's see. Somebody said, sex positive Christian anarchist, what kind of person are you even trying to appeal to? Don't you know that this kind of behavior is sinful? Somebody replied to that saying, love how retarded everyone has suddenly become, because God forbid I have views of my own. Let's see. Somebody tagged you and saying, not even hard labor for 15 years in the Lao guy can cure this level of humiliation fetish, you need to be shot. You look like Darth Vader without his helmet on, but with eyeliner and lipstick added. Thank you for noticing. So you're saying I'm iconic? And hot? Let's see. A lot of people calling me ugly. A lot of people saying that if they look like me, they would end themselves. Oh, what's hella funny is somebody that goes like composting on Twitter.
Of course.
Wishes to be taken seriously and went out of his way to take one of my selfies and play tic-tac-toe with it with one of his mutuals.
It's worth noting that people who are porn-brained should not be taken seriously. No.
Oh no. I went to their YouTube channel. Yes, they sound like that.
Yes.
Yes, they look like that.
They have a bad case of the porn brain.
Sorry, I just wanted to step back quick. And what was funny is that eventually they because she'll post pictures of breakfast and lunch and so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
And her way to own them. Because but the thing is that like they are talking shit about like, oh, they why do the eggs look like that and so on and so forth and yada yada. I'm sitting there and I'm like, clearly y'all must be like upper middle class white bitches that pretend to be superior because you watch Gordon Ramsay as like a fucking default for your cooking because you can't fucking do anything yourself. You can't fucking season your food properly. You can't fucking fry up shit without fucking burning it. Clearly, you probably shouldn't even boil fucking water because you might fucking burn the house down. That's how fucking shit you people are at cooking. Sorry that my eggs are fully done because I'm busy fucking servicing 3 pans on the fucking stove at a time.
I think they're mad that my rations are better than theirs. I definitely think that they are mad that I'm in a very healthy relationship and a man that actually likes me.
That's true. Communists are the dregs of society, and
the time I tried calorie mates.
yeah, commies are the dregs of society, and I doubt many women want to date the dregs of society. So they're
The hell is a dreg?
How would I?
Bottom feeders.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it. Yeah, true.
Plecos, if you would. Except less useful than plecos.
So yes, they are jealous that you are in a relationship and they aren't, and they're also porn.
So actually, personally, I think that might actually be part of what it is. And again, like them trying to insult her for like having a big forehead, which is really funny. Like look at the post.
So I just want to jump in really quick. The forehead joke have been going on since 2016. Like, I've had people from all walks of life online try to do the whole forehead thing and like make my forehead like a billboard or something, and like meme the shit out of it. It was pathetic then. It's pathetic now. I seriously have been begging these commies to try harder to piss me off, to try harder to make me depressed, because holy shit, dude, I have some thick ass skin. And you're giving me a time. I stay winning, bitch. I stay winning.
You know the old saying, the left can't meme.
Agreed.
Oh, without a doubt.
Well, and what's funny is, and like I'll go ahead and mansplain real quick for her. She just fucking laughed at that. So like with the picture here, like if you look at the picture in Discord chat, the problem is that she's holding her head down. If she was holding her head up, it would actually make her forehead look normal. But because of her side shave, it makes her forehead look bigger.
It's all about angles.
I do need to mansplain that for you.
No, I think their issue is that they don't know fashion. Like, they have zero fashion theory, zero color theory.
I mean, they're commies.
They don't know anything about how to dress for their body, what colors go with their skin tone, what silhouettes look really good with their body shape, etc., etc., etc.
Well,
they can't dress for each season. Yeah, there's a whole science behind this, guys, and fashion speaks words. The composting guy, I want to go back to him really quick. I need to find the picture of him, but if you go to their YouTube channel and you go to their community post, yes, they look like that. And apparently they're polyamorous, so yes,
of course.
They smell like that.
Polyamorous, porn-brained commies.
And yes, they have she/they pronouns. I could keep going.
Me and Stoner unfortunately know someone like that. But yes. I didn't even know that they used she/they pronouns. I thought you were just saying they because, like, you know, you didn't know who. But I guess they
I'm saying they because there's 2 kids behind this account.
Oh.
Because they have a podcast.
Of course they do.
Well, here's the fun part. Here's the real fun part about it though, is that at the end of the fucking day, all these kids are doing, and I'll call them children because they're acting like children. All they're doing is literally proving why they should never ever be allowed anywhere near a bank account. Because it's like if you were to manage your own money, you would starve. Like a good little communist, you would starve.
Yes.
Well,
because
no, they would beg for handouts.
You would not be able to sustain your fucking life.
They would beg for handouts.
Yes.
Because isn't that what, like, under communism, you basically, like, beg the state to hand you everything?
So you're just like a beggar, but as if they're perfecting.
Basically.
Yeah, stain on society.
Yes.
Well, and I actually kind of want to get into a somewhat serious discussion about, you know, the faking gay. Here's the fun part, and it's one of those things where these kids, like I was kind of explaining it to Poe. Was it last night or the night before? I don't remember.
Like a day or 2 ago, roughly.
Yeah. So what I was explaining to her is that, you know, you have these people that will sit and they will believe that, you know, like, oh, we've got this, we've got that. Why can't we have control of this? Why can't we have control of that? And it's like, they can't be trusted with control.
Correct.
Because they're so immature and so just out on the fucking, like, they, honestly speaking, they're so far off the reservation on it, like, they might be in the middle of the fucking ocean. That's how far off the fucking reservation they are. Like, they went from all of a sudden being on being on the Cherokee Nation to all of a sudden being in the middle of the fucking Atlantic.
Yes.
And it's like, how the fuck did you get there? Because there's a couple mountains in between you. Like, what the fuck? And it's one of those things where you have people that believe, like, some of the just the most basic, just dumb shit. Like, you know, it's kind, and it can be applied to libertarians as well. Let's be frank. It can be applied to fucking these fucking Daily Wire-ites. I need to come up with a good name for them.
Neocons.
You know, no, they don't even deserve the title neocon. Like, they're that retarded.
Yeah.
Like the Shapiro cult. You know?
Yeah.
Zionists.
Well,
Judeo-Christians.
I don't know we're referencing Postal by talking about the cult of the short one.
The cult of the short one. Let's call him that. The cult of the short one.
Hey.
but no. All
feel
of these
attacked.
groups. Sorry, Bo.
I
Love you.
feel attacked.
Are you like 5'1"?
I'm 4'11".
Yeah, he's like. Yeah. But no. Here's the point though, is that you have all these groups that literally don't understand anything in the fucking world. They do not understand any of this shit, and they pretend to be authorities on it. And it's like, okay, hey, what happens if we get rid of the Federal Reserve? I'll specifically pick on the libertarians here because I just love fucking with them. What happens if we get rid of the Federal Reserve? Ooh, we'll be free from the central bank. No, you won't, because all of a sudden the Bank of England takes over. You'll just be under another central bank, dumbass.
Just under a new rule, you could say.
Yeah. And then they talk about the debt. You know, like, oh, the debt. And it's like, I don't know if you guys realize this, but who's buying our fucking debt right now?
China. Oh,
No.
Lots of people. China's buying some of it.
No, China's selling our debt. What do you mean?
Yeah, they're selling it
Yeah.
now?
Yeah, they're almost to 800 billion.
Huh.
They were a little over like 900 something billion or something like that. Now they're below I think they're below 800 billion now. They're selling our debt because our debt's they don't want our debt. The Europeans are the ones buying our debt because they need to be able to shore up the fucking fuck
Euro.
what's well the euro, yes, but what's the fucking German bank called again?
Deutschmark.
No, Deutschmark is fuck.
Vietnamese.
Hold on. Bundesbank. The Bundesbank. Sorry, I was it was escaping me, but they need to shore up the Bundesbank because the Bundesbank is the only thing that keeps the EU from collapsing. So they're buying our debt in droves. But here's the thing: is fucking Janet Yellen, before she got axed, which, oh god, her getting fired is just so good. I love it.
Yeah.
But
Wasn't
Janet
she
Yellen
propping them up?
Oh yeah, hardcore. She was selling a bunch of fucking bonds at she was selling a bunch of 6-month T-bills to the Europeans to try to screw over Jerome Powell over at the Fed.
Yeah.
And now, since Jerome Powell has outlasted Janet Yellen, now Trump. I think Trump, after it was confirmed that Jamie Dimon has been advising Trump like he has, it's been confirmed. Okay, Trump knows what the game is. He knows what's going on, And that's why he's turned his fucking knives towards fucking Europe like he has. Because he knows, oh, the ECB and the Bank of England are trying to fuck us over as hard as we are. So
Yeah.
fuck them. And now you see what's fucking happening. Canada has bent the fucking knee. They're getting ready to fucking just renegotiate fucking everything in our favor. And then fucking Mexico's trying to stand proud and tall, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, you're going to fold like a house of fucking cards as soon as we start fucking sending operators in.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as the cartels start getting fucking hit with fucking TAC teams, it's going to be fucking hilarious. And all these disparate groups, you know, the communists, the libertarians, the fucking cult of the short one, you know, all of these disparate groups are going to be sitting there like, what's going on? Why is that happening? Oh my god, I can't believe he did that. And it's just going to be fucking hilarious because it's like, yeah, because you guys are you're fucking a year behind everybody else. You're so beyond the fucking curve, or so behind the curve, it's unfucking real. We need to fail you out of this class and tell you you're not allowed to fucking reapply.
Oh shit! I guess I'm gone, guys. I didn't know most of this. I'm learning today.
Hunter, welcome to my seminar. Welcome to my TED Talk.
Hey, Warhound, I've got to ask.
What's up?
What would be there to keep the Mexican government from interfering and joining the cartels against American involvement against them?
Because they'd be toppled in like a week.
You think those operators aren't hitting Mexican government targets as well? Boy, you think they aren't fucking hitting Mexican government?
You didn't specify that, so I thought they were just going after cartels.
I just said that operators were going into Mexico. I didn't specify who they were hitting.
Ew.
Operator standing by for your dad.
Remember what I posted last night about a little tongue-in-cheek? We still have B-52s, don't we?
B-52s, B-2s, B-1B.
So here's the fun part: is Mexico can't be handled through conventional forces. It can't. You cannot handle Mexico with conventional forces whatsoever, because conventional forces are all about dropping troops in, fucking thunder running through fucking cities, dropping artillery on targets, and fucking strafing targets from the air. That's what conventional forces are. You need surgical fucking strike. The teams that are going to go into Mexico to handle these fucking problems, you don't know these teams exist. You just don't fucking know.
It's gonna be a fun week war, I guess.
Now, I do want to kind of touch on, and I guess I want to add a little bit here. So going back to the whole Trump thing, you know, he signed the executive order suspending all foreign aid, and then people are like, but he didn't suspend foreign aid to Egypt, Jordan, and Israel. Do you guys know why he did not suspend foreign aid to those three countries?
No, but that's what the seminar is for.
I'm waiting for Stoner, Dale, and Mitch. Do you guys have any idea?
Honestly, not really.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I can kind of think of why they aren't doing it for Israel, because, you know,
Nah,
Israel.
not what you think. Okay, Stoner's not talking, so I'll just talk about it.
Sorry
So
about
in the
that,
case,
sorry about that. I was having technical difficulties.
oh, okay.
You can't find Shut up. We're doing a podcast. But let's see. I know two of the countries that he did not cut off funding to was Egypt and Israel. I do not know who the third one was.
Jordan. Okay, so the reason being is because in the case of Egypt and Jordan, it's bribes.
Right, they're paying them
bribes. It's paying them off to keep them in line. In the case of Israel.
Yeah.
Now, the reason why the foreign aid to Israel continues, and I found this out, and this is actually one of the main things that completely shifted shifted my opinion on Israel. Because I've been participating with Halsey in spaces for probably 3-4 months now, I think. And one of the things I've learned since I started participating in his spaces is, one, the Israelis don't give a fuck if the Americans support them.
Correct.
They don't care. Their only request to us as Americans is open your arms market. That's all they care about. They're like, open your arms market, let us buy the fucking weapons that we need so we can fight the fucking war. That's all they give a fuck about. They don't care about the foreign aid. Because the foreign aid comes in a very particular style. And this is the thing. This is why I will never question foreign aid to the Israelis ever again. We do not give them cash. We do not give them gold. What we give them is a coupon.
Right, to buy weapons with.
Exactly. It is literally the government using discretionary funds, which, mind you, these discretionary funds, DOD has how much in discretionary funds? Like
a lot.
200 billion or something like that?
Yeah.
The discretionary funds to Israel are fucking a drop in the bucket overall. But the point is that they give a coupon to the Israeli government and say, okay, you can spend that on weapons and shit from us. And that's it. That's all it is.
Yeah.
For example, at the beginning of the Ukraine intervention, which has now developed into the Ukraine war, the Israelis had 200 Abrams tanks on order. Well, that order got canceled. And those 200 Abram tanks found their way to several different places, predominantly Taiwan, but some found their way to Saudi Arabia, and some found their way to Poland. And so it is a case of, like, Israel has gotten... We've actually shafted Israel pretty hardcore. And right now, the only place, for example, that's capable of producing the munitions to support Israel, guess what country it is? And no, it's not the United States.
Russia?
Nope. Remember, they're using our weapons, the Russians can't provide the munitions for it.
Right.
I would say Germany, since Germany did design their submarines.
Nope. Not. See, it's
UK.
a country that. No, it's a country that none of you will probably be able to fucking. Mitch might be able to guess it. Nope.
Is it a very obscure country, or is it a country that, like, we know,
it's
but we
obscure.
Alright, so one that would be in, I don't know, Liechtenstein?
What region are we talking
What
about?
about Turkey?
Not Europe.
Oh. Japan.
Close, but not.
Taiwan.
China.
Oh.
South Korea.
So
South Korea is the only country in the world with the munitions capacity to actually support Israel right now.
Speaking of Japan, I think it's in their constitution that it forbids them from selling military equipment to other countries.
Well, yeah, Japan can.
Yeah.
But no, in the case of South Korea, what's the one country in the world that South Korea really, really doesn't like that isn't North Korea?
China? No, wait, Japan.
Japan.
Nope.
No?
Israel.
Really?
Yeah.
Why do they hate Israel?
I am still researching the dynamic there, but the Korean government, like the bureaucracy of Korea, fucking despises Israel.
Huh.
They fucking despise them. And I don't get it. I'm still researching it to try to get an understanding of it, but they fucking hate Israel.
I would have never guessed that. Really?
Yeah, it's weird. It's fucking like, as I said, you guys weren't gonna be able to guess what country it was, and even still, that country does not want to send them shit because they don't like them. It's like, what the fuck? It's so weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's kind of amusing to say the least. But yeah, my opinion on Israel has shifted quite substantially over the past couple months because it's like, okay, the more I learn, the more I'm able to find out. And mind you, if Halsey tells me a source is good, I'm going to believe him because it's the guy. The guy hasn't steered me wrong. The same thing with Tom Luongo. If he tells me a source is good, I'm going to believe him.
Who's Halsey? Yeah.
His name's Halsey English on Twitter. I'll grab his profile real quick.
Sure.
But no, the guy he works counter-terrorism here in the U.S. He works it's all private counterterrorism. But he works he primarily works for like synagogues that get threats and shit. And so he'll start coordinating local, state, and federal law enforcement and shit like that, so on and so forth.
Well, I've got to ask though. What's the difference between a regular Israeli and a Zionist?
So, okay, so here's the fun part. So, there are two brands of Zionists.
One of them is a Jewish supremacist, basically.
Well, no, actually. So that's the... Okay, bye, Mitch. Fucking Irish goodbye, motherfucker. Love you, Mitch. So it's not really a Jewish supremacy thing. It's... How do I put it? Their mentality is must return to Judea.
Yes.
Like they want Judea back. Like that's their whole goal. Is they must have Judea back. Then there's the second brand of Zionism, which is the British brand of Zionism, which
the greater Israel genocidal type.
Well, that seems to be the link. And so you have the Zionists in Israel that are split into two camps, where you have the crazy genocidal ones that link more to the British than anything, and then you have the Zionists in Israel that are like must return to Judea. Like, and I can't fault those ones, personally speaking. I can't, because it's like, okay, I get it. You know, the Romans fucked your shit over, and you want your state back. I get it. I understand.
But I've also got to ask, which of the Zionists is Benjamin Netanyahu a part of, and which of the Zionists are the ones that intentionally targeted and tried to sink the Liberty?
So here's the thing. Here's the thing. What I've learned in the case of Benjamin Netanyahu, he traces to the English Zionists very hard, but he's been left out to dry. The English would love nothing more than to see him in the Hague, because they want to bury him, because he fucked up. He fucked up. They want to bury him so that they can fucking contain the issue. Now, in the case of the USS Liberty, so here's the thing. I've learned a lot about the USS Liberty within the past few months, because you people are fucking retarded about it. You autistic sons of bitches. I love you. Anyways, the USS Liberty wasn't intentional.
That's not what some of the sailors I've heard that served on the Liberty have said.
Let me explain. The problem is that the sailors themselves are unreliable. Because here's the problem. The USS Liberty was not flying, or it was not sailing with its transponder on. For obvious fucking reasons. The problem is that they did not respond to any fucking hails. They were observing the situation with the 7-Day War, and they weren't responding to Israeli hails. The problem is at the time, the Israelis, Mossad specifically, was not tied into the whole Five Eyes network the way they are nowadays. And you notice how the USS Liberty gets hit, and then for some reason Mossad starts getting included in Five Eyes. Really weird, right? The reason being, did the Israelis hit the USS Liberty? On purpose, yes, because they didn't know if it was actually an American ship, because, mind you, testimonies from the pilots indicate that they identified it's flying American colors, but it still is not responding to hails. And when
From what I
entering,
understood, the reason why they weren't responding to hails is because they were being jammed.
there's no indication from the Israeli side of that being a thing. And honestly speaking, I'm sorry, I'm going to say it right now. We're talking about the 70s?
68. It was 68 or 69.
Yeah, sorry. 60s, not 70s. I always want to... sorry, I always want to leapfrog to the Yom Kippur War. But... Or... What you have to understand is that... Think of it this way. The F-4 Phantom.
Mm-hmm.
What was the biggest...
Jet.
What was the biggest problem with the F-4 Phantom?
It did not come standard equipped with a gun.
That actually is the second biggest problem with it. The biggest problem with it is that it's heat seeker, or it's radar guided. Technically radar guided, but they did have heat seeker modules that broke a lot. Their radar guided missiles were faulty at best.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem is that in this time period, all these technologies were getting super advanced super quickly. So I would not be surprised to find out that in reality, the SS Liberty, their shit broke. Their shit just fucking broke. They weren't able to transmit, and because of that, they got hit because the threat that it could be an Egyptian or Syrian or something else ship sailing under American colors as a disguise.
And there's also something else too. The
Go ahead.
Aircraft that were identified were not F-4 Phantoms. They were French Mirage fighters that the IDF at the time were flying. Yeah,
that's what the IDF were using. Again, I'm not, and again, the Israelis took fault for the strike. They paid restitutions. The U.S. government screwed the families out of those restitutions. But the point is, let's face it, this was most likely one of those catastrophic misfires of communication. The Israelis hit the ship. They realize, oh fuck, that is actually an American ship. And what happened to the ship after the Israelis hit it?
What?
Well, let's see here. First, they tried shooting it. First, they tried sinking it with aircraft. Then they tried sinking it with torpedo boats. And then they tried a heliborne assault on the ship and was trying to take it by force.
Well, that's the thing, though, is that there is contention with the whole heliborne assault thing rather than a heliborne rescue operation. There's a lot of contention on that matter. Because, again, let's face it, are you going to come onto a ship that you're not 100% sure is actually friendly? Are you going to come onto a ship with no gun, or are you going to go onto that ship with a gun?
And also, I'm pretty sure those Americans probably would have killed anybody that come aboard their ship.
Well, the point is that if I'm going onto a ship, even if the goal is to render aid, if I don't know if that ship is secure, if that ship is not friendly, I'm going onto that ship with a fucking gun. Period in the story.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, there's a lot of fucking contention with the subject. There's a lot of back and forth. There's a lot of points, and again, we'll never truly have the full picture, because again, it was a fucking surveillance ship. They can't talk about half the shit. They just can't, because oh wait, they were running fucking surveillance. Welcome to the U2 program, everybody. You know, we don't We don't know a lot of the shit that happened with the U-2 program because they were running fucking surveillance. The SR-71, we don't know a lot about that program because they were running fucking surveillance. We know about the planes because obviously the planes fucking exist, but the programs themselves, we don't know what they were doing in those programs.
And while you're at it, we also don't know what they're doing with the Aurora program either.
But that's the whole point, is that with the USS Liberty, again, I look at what is presented. The Israelis took fault. They paid restitution. They fucking towed the bitch back into, or towed it into port, repaired it so it could make way and get back home. I'm sorry. I'm gonna take it as, yeah, it sucks that it happened, but acknowledgments were made.
All right. Well, fair enough. They have
And
plausible
I guess
deniability.
these that are still alive, I guess they just want revenge.
Huh?
I said, in these sailors that survived the attack, I guess they just want revenge.
Well, that's the thing is, honestly speaking, if I were in their position too, I would want revenge. And there's a lot of there like, look at what happened. Look at what happened with the fucking incident between the with the Royal Armored Corps and the United States 3rd Armored in Iraq.
And what they do? Shoot each other up?
Yeah, 2 friendly fire incidents, which like, do you notice if you look at early war pictures of the British tanks, they don't have anything on them, and then towards the middle of the war, all of a sudden, all of them are flying the Union Jack? The reason why they started flying the Union Jack on top of their tanks like they did was because of these 2 friendly fire incidences, and we were lucky in the regards that it didn't kill anybody. Because...
Oh, like the invasion stripes that we used in World War II to prevent friendly fire incidents.
Yeah, but that was the whole fucking point, is that, the British Tank Corps, they still feel very jaded over that. They really do, because we scrapped 2 of their tanks, and they're like, what the fuck, guys? Like, they do still feel a sentiment about that.
Fair enough.
Well, given how they're treating us and how you say that they're our real enemy, all I could say is,
yeah, I will grant then that Israel does have some plausible deniability for the USS Liberty incident. However, it does not have any plausible deniability for the Lavon affair.
Remind me, what was that?
That's the one where they they admitted to this. They had paid, Mossad paid some Egyptian Jews and some other Egyptian to bomb a U.S. embassy and a British embassy while pretending to be Egyptian nationals, to try to drag them into one of their wars in the 50s. And
the October War.
Yeah.
Well, and here's the thing with that. And honestly speaking, like, there's a lot to be said about that shit. There's a lot to be fucking said. And that's the thing, is at the end of the fucking day, we're talking about the potential that, again, these are not the same governments that we're dealing with. Like let's face it, the Netanyahu government is not the same government that was back in the 50s.
Yeah.
And we're talking about governments that, let's face it, across the region are hyper fucking fixated on this religious war. And it is a religious war, let's face it.
Yeah.
And they will do anything to try to get the bigger players in. That's
Yes.
what scares Israel so much in the case of Iran, because they're not as scared anymore of Iran because the Russians have stepped in like they have, and have now curtailed Iran's response, and the reformists are starting to take control in Iran. It's actually really funny. I think Iran will end up having a counter-revolution here very soon. But in the case of the Chinese influence on Iran was one of the things spurring on the activities of the Iranians against Israel. And so the Israelis were they were terrified of the idea that China supporting Iran was actually going to lead to their downfall. So, again, like, you're talking about desperate fucking governments, and especially back in that day, I can only imagine how fucking bad it was. Because, like, look at it this way. Look at the Barbary Wars.
All right.
The Barbary Wars, the U.S. came in and did something that the European powers were completely ineffectual at doing, period, in a story. They couldn't get a handle on it. And the U.S. came in with a minuscule fleet and fucking handled business. And all of a sudden, we have one of the most reliable allies in North Africa, Morocco, who will not do business with the Brits. They have a relationship with the Brits, but it's a purely diplomatic relationship. Whereas if we call up the Moroccans and we say, hey, we need to put together a strike package, can you loan us some guys to go hit this target? The Moroccans are like, what time? Like, that's the kind of relationship we have with the Moroccans. And like, across the fucking board, you got to think about it. We did something that the Europeans were never able to do. The Europeans fucking hate us for that. They hate us for surviving the Civil War. They hate us for fucking, daring to not kill the Russians.
So what exactly
Well,
did the U.S. do?
Speaking of the Europeans hating us, what's this I'm hearing about Trump wanting to leave NATO?
Makes
Is that
sense.
real, or is that just
Oh
BS?
yeah, that's real. That's real. No, Trump has thrown the gauntlet down, and he said all NATO partners need to bump up to 5% GDP or we're done.
Yeah.
And mind you, notice how every single European country is talking about how they need to shrink back their welfare system in order to pay for defense spending.
Yes.
And not a single country, with the cuts that they have made so far, can meet the 5% metric. And Trump has not indicated that he's willing to budge on the 5% yet. So there is a good chance that if by the end of this year the European partners within NATO are unwilling to truly dedicate to their own defense, yeah, Trump is most likely going to bail from NATO.
Based.
And that will result in an absolute fucking clown fiesta in fucking Europe, and it's gonna be fantastic.
And I've already seen the NATO simps and Europeans throwing a fit over it on Twitter right now.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Let's throw
Because
a fit over everything.
well, you're not wrong there. But no, and the reason why they're throwing a fit is because they do not want to get rid of their welfare system.
Yes.
But their welfare system is exactly what's preventing them from actually being sovereign nations.
Correct.
Because here's the thing, and I've explained this previously, but I'll explain it for the sake of the podcast. The Europeans have relied on a cheap dollar for the past 60 plus years, since or 50 years since we got rid of the gold standard. They have relied on a cheap dollar to be able to facilitate their welfare systems. And without a cheap dollar, because mind you, how quick question, question for the gallery. How much of Europe's trade was settled in euros pre-2000 or 2022?
Not much.
Now that's not completely true, but not completely incorrect either. 30%.
A number.
30%. 30% of their trade was settled in euros. Guess how much that currently is right now in the modern day?
I'm gonna say 60. Double it.
Nope.
I'd say 15. 1-5.
Close, Varg. 11%.
Damn, I'm terrible at this.
11%. It dropped
Yeah.
like a fucking rock.
Sounds about right.
Because most of the euro settlements 2/3 of their euro settlements were for oil from Russia. And so when they stopped buying oil from Russia in euros, by the way, they were still buying it with dollars, by the way. They don't want to talk about that, but they were.
Petrodollar.
But because well, not the petrodollar, and I'll explain that here in a second. But because they were using dollars to circumvent the sanctions, because, they sanctioned Russia via the euro, not the dollar. So they were still using dollars to buy oil. The euro has crashed. The euro's fucked. Like, purchasing power of the euro right now, I would have to pull up Tom's last market report, but the euro's in the gutter right now. Like, it's bad. And they do not understand that this will result in a massive drop in their overall capability to actually do anything, because the dollar's not cheap anymore.
Yeah.
The dollar is no longer cheap. They're buying dollars at, 4.5% and they're trying desperately to fucking get as many dollars as they can right now.
Yeah. So currently the euro is one euro is $1.04 US. And to put that in perspective, in 2013 it was $1.40 US.
Yeah.
That's how much it's dropped. It's basically €1 for $1 now, basically.
Yep. It's almost reached parity. And here's the thing: is once it hits parity, it drops off like a fucking cliff. Once it hits parity, it within maybe a trading week, maybe two, it'll drop to 80 cents.
Damn.
Well, you know what this is sounding like to me? It's sounding a lot like, it sounded to me like no matter what happened, America's going to end up leaving NATO.
Well, it's because Trump has gotten the talk, and he's been told our enemies are not in the East, they're in the West. The Chinese are not the threat that they were made out to be in the way that you were told. Our enemies are economic enemies, at least, are in the West, in London.
Specifically the city of London.
Yes.
Somebody needs to tell the fat guy that.
Well, Ryan Macbeth, you little porky bitch. He will never acknowledge this. This is completely outside of his wheelhouse. It's completely outside. He's a fucking signals guy. He's a signals guy that barely has a grasp on fucking operational fucking shit. Let's face it. He's like, oh, I was in charge of putting strike packages together. You were in charge of plotting fucking Tomahawk strikes, bro. You were putting fucking warheads on foreheads. That's all you were doing. You weren't doing operational shit.
Did you
weren't doing.
But did you see that screenshot I sent of him talking about the American troops on the border? If you didn't, check the side chat because I just posted it.
Okay, hold on. Let me look at it real quick. Okay, so here's the fun part about this. First and foremost, we wouldn't use federal troops for this. We would use National Guard. Like this whole discussion about using federal troops, that was all started up because Trump used it as bait. Trump used the idea of using federal troops on the border as bait. It wouldn't be federal troops on the border. It would be fucking National Guard. Period. End of story. Because what's the best way to train the fucking National Guard? Put him up against a fucking real pure fucking power. And yes, the cartels are a fucking pure power. You might not want to fucking admit it, but you gotta fucking acknowledge it. These motherfuckers have the same capabilities as the fucking US military, minus fucking air power. And guess what? You can't use your fucking air power against them.
Why not?
Are you gonna bomb fucking Mexico?
Don't tempt me.
Well, I would love to see a cartel fucking hideout get fucking bombed from fucking 20,000 feet. That's not a good look diplomatically.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And the point is that you're gonna have guys on the they're positioned either on the river, either on the Rio Grande, or they're gonna be positioned, 100, 200 meters back off the fucking border. They're gonna have mortar lines fucking sighted in, and they're gonna fucking have machine gun positions ready to open up on any dumb fucks that try to make it a fucking cross that want to fuck around and find out. And that's the whole point. Is at the end of the fucking day, the National Guard are going to be the ones fucking handling business, and it's going to be good for them. Because it's going to put the National Guard on notice, like, hey, you have a job, and you need to be good at your job. Because otherwise you're going to get fucking got.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm going to say it right fucking now. All the border states, whether it be southern border or northern border, their National Guards need to get fucking good quick.
Hmm.
Anyways, I think we've been going pretty long, Barg. I don't know.
Yep, we're currently at 1 hour, 55 minutes, and 55 seconds.
You think we should tie it up here?
Does anyone else... Oh, one last thing I forgot to say. It's very important, especially for the title. Affirmative action is now dead. Forgot to cover that.
Yeah, okay, my bad. Yes, that was part of the executive order thing, and we got, Hunter dragged us off into fucking video game territory.
Yes.
Fuck you, Hunter. Anyways.
Yep.
But yes, we affirmative action is fucking dead.
Yes,
And
the
thank
original,
fucking God.
the original executive order that Lyndon B. Johnson did that created affirmative action has now been revoked by Trump's executive order. So, yes.
Yep.
I have my question. What's going to be the real world effect of that?
So let me explain it in very simple terms. The real world effects is that colleges and businesses are not going to be able to fucking discriminate against people just because they think they have too many of one skin color.
And they're still going to do it, and they're going to get sued into oblivion.
Yeah, this opens the door for people to actually sue them.
Yes.
And it's predominantly, in the modern age, it's predominantly going to affect Asians, because Asian families are actually going to be able to get recourse for their grievances.
Yes.
So, yeah. Affirmative action is fucking dead, and what's it called again? The Equal Opportunities Act, or whatever the fuck it's called?
Yeah.
That whole thing is going to, like, people aren't going to automatically start being like, oh, you're black, I don't want to hire you.
Correct.
Like, that's not going to fucking happen. I'm sorry, you're not going to see that, period, end of fucking story, because again, if the guy knows how to fucking do the job, they're going to fucking hire his ass. They don't care. What this is going to do is this is going to prevent the widespread discrimination of particular groups because of so-called fucking diversity quotas.
Yes.
Or so-called fucking race quotas and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's the real world effect. It does nothing but good.
Mm-hmm.
And when the redress of grievances begins, I hope to God Harvard gets fucked as hard as they do.
Oh, yeah.
It's gonna be fucking great.
Yep.
Anyways, let's tie it up, Dale.
All right.
All right. Everyone, this has been the Warwolf Podcast. We hope you guys have enjoyed our little fucking schizo posting that we'd love to do here, and the many branches that we like to go swinging on, because we're just a bunch of silly little monkeys, aren't we? Anyways, guys.
I just joined in here, talked about video games, and then just said nothing for most of it.
Yeah, Hunter, you're a little loser, and we love you still. Anyways.
Evil hairless apes for the win!
Hairless apes for the win. Apes strong together.
Yes.
Anyways, Dale, let's get out of here.
All right. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.